Hey, and welcome to the show. This show is brought to you by Patreon members like you.
Thank you for being a Patreon member.
As a Patreon member, you get a video of the podcast that we put out twice a month.
Now, on with the show.
Yeah.
No, when I say mic's on, remember the commercial of the NFL? The referees are talking like that was offside and that was, but they have the mic on. No.
What's up, Andrew from Kentucky? How's it going? Chime in, let us know where you're from, what the weather's like, what's happening in your neck of the woods, all that other fun stuff. Hello, Mr. Robert Van Huy.
That is correct.
So they all call him RVH now, but they call him RVH, but I just think his name is too cool to call him an acronym. Plus, you know, I hate acronyms.
RVH.
So I think Robert Van Huy is just way cooler.
Yeah.
What's up from Omaha? Great Steaks, Texas. What's up, Brian? Yo,
What's
yo,
up?
yo. Hello, Colton, Canada. Eh? No way, eh? Fernando.
Yes.
Dean, what's up? Happy Monday, says
Happy
you.
Monday.
53 and cold. Wow, Chicago. 53 and cold, damn. PA and rain.
Yeah, I can see
It's
that.
got to rain somewhere. You know. What's up for SoCal? Everything is fine in my neighborhood. That's what we like to hear. Kentucky.
Yep.
What's up, fellas? Editing videos. Says you, Hi-Fi. Speaking of editing videos, I'm going to tell you guys right now, just since y'all are chiming in, you'll know, and the guys that come in late won't. This week you may not get as many videos as you were hoping for this week. I have a project I have to get done for Trusted Tech and Installer of the Year, and this is the week I have to do it. So as much as I want to try to get all the videos out that I need to, I don't know if I'm going to be able to.
I'll be right back.
Rookie move. No, we do not have any videos on center channel wiring. Jacksonville, 77 and cloudy. Sounds about right. Give the rain to California. They need it more, for sure. Happy Monday. Hope you recovered from last week. Not gonna lie. No, not feeling it. Knoxville, 70. All right. Hello from Oregon. What's up, guys? What's up, Mr. Craven? Louisville, 46. God, everybody has this nice weather. I mean, 70 is nice.
We are in what, 80s?
Jacksonville, 77. See, they're getting some of the cold weather. Compressor, right? What's up, fellas? Question, what is the best speaker for a GTI 2003?
Definitely you have to buy brackets.
You're going to need brackets. Well,
yeah, and
so,
it has rivets. So,
well, 2003 they make those crappy brackets. I think most of the time we just use the half-inch spacers, the 650s from Best Kits.
I mean,
they
still bracket, you know.
Yeah, I think you just need spacers, but a normal 6.5 will fit. So you don't need anything out of the, normal 6.5. You don't have to do a 6-inch, 6 3/4. Just a normal 6-inch with some half-inch brackets. You'll be fine. Melbourne, Florida here, just hot, right? So about the kicker key processor that was mentioned leaked last week. There was no kicker key processor that was mentioned or leaked last week. The only thing he said is that when they asked the question, are you working on some form of a DSP? And of course, Steve said it very candid, of course we are. That's it. And as far as that goes, obviously, when something comes, that's all you can say. So all he said is, of course you are, something along those lines. That's all we got. You know what we know now.
Thanks again for the work on the F-150 last week.
Did we do
I made
F-150?
the drive back to Missouri. Yeah, Missouri.
Oh, Jesus. We did like 4 F-150s last week.
Well, we happy that you get back to Missouri safely.
That one.
And
that was a fun one.
I
like that one.
Yep.
Thoughts on Blam speakers? You're not going to be disappointed. You're going to love the Blam speakers.
I want to man.
I really am impressed that Blam has become as popular as it has. I really like the brand. I love it. See, I love this show because it's like a barometer for what is becoming cool in the industry.
Yeah.
And Blam is one of those products that is just really starting to
Getting through that.
work its
Yeah.
way into the mainstream, not the esoteric behind the scenes, and it's well worth it because it's a phenomenal product. We had the pleasure of when we were in California back in November, we got to go to the Blam party, meet the owner of Blam. He was on the show. I think he was on day 2.
Yes.
He was on the day 2 from Knowledge Fest show. We actually talked to him, and he talked very French. If you want to go and watch that show for sure. It's some point in there. We get I think he's on there for like 10 minutes just talking about the product. It was phenomenal. We should almost pull that piece out
And just
put that up because it was he did such a great job of talking about the product. Maybe I'll have to do that. Cincinnati, hello gentlemen.
what's up?
Best subwoofer and how many for best SPL in a 2006 Chrysler 300C with 6 speakers BA system? Well, it's a 2006, so I'd definitely be replacing the radio. I mean, if you just want to go what's going to fit, 212s is typically what you're going to fit in the trunk of that. If you want to take out the back seat, of course, fit whatever you like at that point. But 2 really big 12s.
All right. What are your thoughts about using different gains versus time alignment for a front stage speakers are on active crossover?
No, I mean technically yes, you can do that. You can do the gain. You can do gains adjust, but the problem. So most of the time you're actually going to be using. Okay, gain is a volume knob, correct? It's not. Okay, gain is an attenuation circuit that allows you to control how much voltage gets to that channel. The problem is that typically on an amplifier side, there's just a mono gain, meaning a single gain that is not mono, but it's an uno gain that controls both left and right channel at the same time. Once you break out to a DSP, then you have a left gain and a right gain. But if you want to think of this even further, if you have a DSP, you have 31 individual gains if you have a 31 band EQ. So that means for every channel you have a gain control, which is essentially what it is an individual gain control. So when we talk about matching left to right output volume, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can use gain, meaning turn down one channel to bring everything in line, or you can use the 31 gains to bring them all into line. But as far as gain for time alignment, the problem is it's delay. Delay is what is added. So once you've added delay, you still may, if you didn't get the left and right mirroring right, you still need to go in and adjust gain or individual channel levels in order to line up the center, or go back into the EQ and work your 31 bands of gain to match that out. But it's an actual physical timed you're adding to it. So by making one thing louder than the other, technically yes, because if you go into your car and you work the fader, you can fade left, fade right, and help to bring the sound stage across. But
all right. Can the Kingwood 801.5 push the Kicker KS components?
yes.
It says it has 100 RMS.
Oh
Just
yeah,
wondering.
yeah. I don't
Perfect.
think. I mean, the
No
key
problem.
destroys those, and that's less power. So yeah.
I mean, not destroy. It's like
I mean,
it pushes.
it just
like,
it smacks them like little redheaded
maximum
stepchilds.
capacity. Yeah, it's good.
Most important question of the night: Skittles or Sour Patch Kids?
Skittles.
Really? You got a bag of Sour Patch Kids in the
I love
refrigerator.
everything.
Okay,
doesn't
so
matter.
like Sour Patch
Candy's
Kids,
candy,
Skittles,
man.
and Starbursts, probably your 3 favorite things.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I feel like a Skittle is nothing more than a Starburst in a hard candy shell that's a little bitter,
Yeah.
and a Sour Patch Kid is just evil incarnate. So
It still tastes good.
no, it doesn't.
It tastes good. All right. What DSP will work on a Mazda 3 with the Bose system? At this time, I'm using a high level out to the Kicker KX 800.5, but seems like the highs roll off on the RTA.
Okay, there is a natural high roll off that happens all the time. Your highs aren't going to be flat all the way across. They're naturally, because the energy isn't there. It's automatically going to roll off. Usually starts about 10,000 hertz and it starts to go down. It's perfectly normal. If you listen to how loud your tweeters are with that roll off, they're still blowing you out of the car more than likely. It's okay. Most tweeters only get about a watt or two. That's all they can handle. So you're not gonna, very rarely are you gonna see this perfectly ruled or straight line going out unless you have a tweeter that is so god awful loud, which some people do, you know, and that's crazy. But for the most part, you're gonna have that high frequency roll off. It's not the end of the world. As far as which DSP you should buy, really just comes down to how many channels you're going to need. That's kind of one of the factors in figuring out which DSP you need. Do you need 6 channels? Do you need 8 channels? Do you need 12 channels? If you have no idea, then obviously you're going to want to go big because you need to have as many channels as you have that you're trying to use. So if you have a high level to low level adapter, and let's say it's a 4-channel high level to low level adapter, and that's giving you everything you need, it's probably not, then you're, you know, go accordingly. But like Rock AudioControl makes the DM608, they make the DM810. That means it has 6 to 8 and it has 8 to 10. And then you also have something like the Alpine, which is 12 channels, but it's only 6 in, 12 out. Then you have plenty of others that are 6 in or 8 in. 8 seems to be like the kind of the norm.
Yeah. The basic.
I don't know.
Kind.
Is that on?
Yes, it's on.
All right. This brings us to an interesting time in the show since we just got off and ran for the first 8 minutes talking about questions, and thank you so much for that. Let's talk about who's the sponsor of the show today. Oh yeah, for that we'll tune to the Fernando cam. What happened, man? Is that switch on?
Yeah, it's still booting. This is on?
I
Okay,
don't-
you switch it.
I don't
Switch
know.
it back.
No, oh yeah. Ah, sorry about that, little technical difficulty.
Yeah,
Let me
well-
see this. Hold on. Worst comes to worst, just shut it off. Turn it back on.
Well,
Come over here. Go to this. Plug that back in. Give it a second.
this is the first time that we use this, so
This is the first time we've used this. All right, hold on.
it's still loading. See?
Linking. Yeah,
Okay,
all right.
so
Well,
hang on.
I'll
all
give
right.
it a second. Anyway, today's show is brought to you by AudioControl, makers of the new LC1i and the new LC2i Pro. That's right, they're now available. You can pick up the LC1i if you're looking to do 1 channel of high level to low level. It'll take up to 40 volts of input. It'll take up to 40 volts of input. It has load generation built into it, so you don't need to buy LGDs or anything like that. So if you have something that, once you disconnect the speakers from it, needs to see that load, this is built in. It is also a line driver. If you notice, it has RCAs here and RCAs here. That is because you can do high level or low level input. So if you need a line driver, or if you eventually switch out and get a new head unit, you can run RCAs into this, especially if you get a head unit that only has like 2 volts of output, and or you're happy with the bass response you have and you don't want to change it. You can just simply plug the RCAs in and be good to go. It has a maximize light on it so that you can figure out the distortion point of the radio. As you turn it up, you'll know when this is up all the way, so you can maximize your amount of output. This will also generate a remote turn on for you. It is a power and ground input because this is not a load, this is not resistor based or transformer based. This is an actual electronic device that will give you your high level to low level signal out. It's not just a bunch of dummy loads. So this, because of that, will generate signal. New to this format is previously it had GTO, which is great turn on. Now it also has signal sense, so it will look for the 6-volt DC offset as well as look at your AC signal coming over your RCAs if your car, or your speaker wires, if your car does not have DC offset. Check them out. You can find them at AudioControl.com. Has suggested retail price of $79, and the bigger one is $149 respectively. But that's it. So that's what we got going on today. And since we're on the laptop, let's do this and get this out of the way. Also, this is the Clean Wire Club. 12-volt Clean Wire Club, that is. A lot of you guys are members there. This is the photo of the week. Tell us what we have, Fernando.
We have Philip Parks.
Engine Bay.
Engine Bay. Yeah.
I love these. I love all that. I love these guys. Just do, and by these guys, it's usually an SPL guy. Do an excellent job at just wire management, lots of runs, and hey, no
everything
tech
is
flex.
0 gauge, and it's like, dude, man,
Yeah,
nice.
looks really nice. I like it. I like it a lot. A lot of fuse holder action going on in there, keeping his wires safe. Just a lot of blue and power wire. It's nice. I like those battery terminals too. Those are cool. We did those the other day in that one car. I like those a lot. So anyways, congratulations to him. If you would like to get your picture up on the Clean Wire Club, you can do that. First off, the easiest way to do that is to follow the 12 Volt Clean Wire Club over on Facebook, which is where we're at right now. Secondly, watch this terrible video about us telling you the rules, because people need to know rules. I don't know. It's a good question. Anyways, ask to join, you'll be allowed, and then you can start posting pretty cool pictures. What's up, Mr. Jeff Smith?
What's
or as
up?
my phone calls you, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey Smith.
Let's see if the camera works yet. Ah, there we go. There it is. All right, so we got the camera working back. All right, so there's another close-up view. We'll come back to them in a little bit now that we know it's working. All right, cool.
All right.
All right, back to the show.
All right. It is possible to use a DSR-1 and still do a full active three-way up front, coax in the rears, and still do a subwoofer.
Not if you want to have it all pass through the DSR-1. The DSR-1 does not give you that as an option. The DSR-1 has 8 channels of output only. So that means you have tweeter, mid-bass, sub as your only option in that configuration. For those of you that never looked at the configuration on the DSR-1, if it's all new to you, let me get over here to the DSR-1 app. What's up, Mel?
Hey.
Your boy Jeffrey Smith is in the house along with you. We got full-on Amp Global representing. All right.
Can you guys recommend a good SQ 6.5 coaxials for $200 or less? Guys in the chat says the Kicker KS.
They're nice.
How are the lower cost morale in comparison?
Ooh, those would be nice too.
Yeah.
I mean, you have integration, you have the lower cost morale. Every high-end speaker manufacturer makes a affordable option.
Yeah.
And all of them are very nice.
But
so,
I mean, KS, the new KS, yeah.
all right,
Definitely a good one.
All right, so we'll go back to... All right, so here's what we got here. This is the setup wizard for the DSR-1. Once you're here, you get to pick what you want. So you have front, rear, sub. You have front, rear, center, sub. You have two-way front stage, rear, sub. Now, this might be an option for you because you could do a passive crossover between the mid-range and the tweeter. That is totally acceptable in the world of SQ or in the world of audio in general. Most of your high-end cars from the factory that have a dedicated mid-bass amplifier and then the mid-range and tweeter are passively together sharing the same channel. So that might be an option for you there. There again, two-way front stage, subwoofer, two-way front stage with tweeter, subwoofer, three-way front stage, rear fill. I'm sorry, subwoofer. Then we have just a standard front stage and sub, front stage center sub, and that's it. That's all you got for an option for the DSR-1. The Audison works very similar to that. However, what you may want to think about if you're totally set on doing a three-way front with sub and rear, my personal favorite for that is this guy right here. Switch to the Fernando camera real quick. Sorry. The Audison Bit Nove. The Bit Nove is 9 channels. It solves that problem. It's also a much bigger, deeper DSP than the DSR-1. I get the DSR-1 and the price point. However, for double the money, you get this cool controller up front, and you get 9 channels and a much deeper DSP. It also sounds better. But that's that.
That's right. All right. I have a 2015 Nissan Altima S with the 2 sets of T2 components and rear doors and 2 6x9s and 15 subs. Is overkill? Will work with the DSR-1. I have a Rockford Fosgate T404 and the big monoblock.
I mean, we know the DSR-1 will work. We just walked you through that. As far as whether it's overkill or not, I'm not the guy to ask if something is overkill. You know, you can never have too much. I'm not gonna lie. You can never have too much car stereo. It's never overkill. A couple episodes ago, you said not to use the DD1 to set gains on a PDX V9. What would you recommend to set gains with? Did I say that?
And
I
the
said you
DDs?
probably didn't need the DD1 to set the gains on it, only because you're going to keep the gains at a minimal amount of output.
Like all the way down.
Like all the way down. Everyone tries to set gains on those PDX amplifiers, and the reality is there's very little gain. They like 4 volts, and that's it. If you run a Kenwood into them, you're not moving those gains. Pioneer, you might move the gain a hair, but there's not a lot of gain movement on those amplifiers at all. You can use a DSR1, I'm sorry, you can use a DD1, you can use an oscilloscope, but I'm just telling you, the way those amplifiers work is they have current limiting built into them, and if they sense anything out of the norm, they shut those amplifiers down. Like, the hammer drops and they cut right off. Yeah. You could actually just use that to set the gains, because if you turn the volume up and you start turning up your gain, it'll immediately shut off.
Yeah.
So that's their protection built into it. So as long as you don't have that happening, then you're not getting any distortion in the amplifier. Oh my God! It's Mr. Marty Dean traveling through Michigan himself.
Oh, yeah.
What the heck, man? I mean, of all the places to travel, Michigan, really?
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm from there and all, but anyways, how do you guys remove the remaining of the rivets after you drill them out? You mean like the pieces that fall into the door, you scoop them out with your fingers? You mean after you drill off the top and that stupid piece that sticks, you keep drilling? Typically what you want to use is a step bit so that you can just keep going and going and going. Aussie irons, they're waving. They know who you are, Marty. They want their Aussie irons.
Where's my Aussie iron?
I just bought the Kenwood DMX. Ooh, floating screen radio. I also bought the Sirius XM. Where can I locate the antenna for the Sirius XM? Alright, so depending on where you're at is going to vary as far as where you have to put the antenna. If you're in the middle of the United States, somewhere in that area, you can probably put it like in the corner of the windshield if you have snow and stuff like that. I've seen guys do that there and they can get away with it. If you're in the further reaches, like us, it doesn't work there. It doesn't work there at all because it needs to see the sky. Typically what we're doing is there's 2 places we're going to put it. If it's a pickup truck, it's going to go up onto the front corner, either the driver's or passenger, up by where the window is. If it's a car, it's going to go, and it's got a thing that lifts up and back like a trunk, it's going to go on the trunk lid. That's just where it works best. I don't like to see things back. Back from Michigan, he says. Awesome.
Nice. Okay, so I have a Focal K2 components and flex coaxials. I want to do an install in the Honda Accord 2017, but I want to retain the stock head unit. I'm using an AudioControl D6 1200. I got a power wire and speed wire. I want to know what else will I need.
Head over to MetroOnline.com and pick up the T-harness that they make. Access T makes a DSP T-harness. Now, here's where the question is. The part you didn't put in there is, does it have the factory premium sound, or is it just the base model for, front rear no subwoofer system? If it's the base model front rear system, then all you'd have to do is get the T-harness wired in, you're good to go. You're going to need 2 runs of speed wire though, one to come from the radio and one to go back to the radio, unless you're planning on running all the speaker wires. If it is the premium sound system, then you're going to need to go back over to MetroOnline.com and pick up the Access DSP interface for it, because for that system with the premium, it's a digital between the radio and the amplifier, so you have to go after the amplifier. If you go after the amplifier, you have to retain the tweeters, the mid, the center, and the sub, but on their own channels, which you do not have enough of. So you would have to go with some form of integration, and that would be the Access piece. Hope that helps. What are we looking at?
Somebody say, how do you guys remove the remaining of the rivets after you drill it out?
Yeah, I said to use a step bit.
Okay.
So you use a 1/4 inch?
I use a 1/4 inch. It goes through, and that's it.
So he uses a 1/4 inch and doesn't have any issues. There you go. Fernando's the man. Don't argue with him. Just do it. Is it worth sound deadening the roof, just the back half as a sunroof?
Oh, that's a good question.
What?
When we're gonna have it Jeff Smith? That's a guess again.
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. He's been so busy with the new build and getting his thing up and going. I just didn't want to bother him. Yeah. All right. So as far as soundproofing goes, if you have a ton of bass, the roof is flexing, or you have a lot of road noise coming from your roof, yeah, I get it. Sure, why not? If you got the time, pull it down. But like you said, you got a big hole in your roof that's probably where the noise is coming from. I don't know if it's going to matter that much. We typically don't do anything with the roof, so...
Alright. I don't know if you answered this one. I'm going to read it. Hey guys, what is the simplest option to add a DSP and amplifier to 2016 Dodge Journey with an Alpine OEM premium audio? I wish to retain my factory Uconnect 8.4 head unit. Thanks.
So I don't know if I think it's the Journey that might be the one that doesn't work with the amp pros or anything. So okay, two things. One, go to pack-audio or idata.com and see if, hold on, you know what year was it?
16.
All right. Amplifier replacement. Dodge.
All the way to the top.
2000. What year?
16.
16.
Haven't changed.
Journey.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, get close. With amplifier. It's got the Alpine system.
Yes, sir.
Boom. All right. Easiest way to add a DSP is right there. Add a DSR1 Maestro interface to it. So pick up the ACH2 and the DSR1, and you're good to go. That will retain your factory radio. It will allow you to pull out the factory amplifier and plug right in. So simple enough. Go and you buy, what did we say, the ACH2? That's these two pieces right here. Plug those in, you're all good to go. These plug in at the factory amplifier, so you want to plug your factory amplifier, plug this in, just plug this in, and you get 8 channels of preamp level output with full DSP to do whatever you want. Doesn't get any easier than that. Unless you want to do rear fill 3-way set like we talked about earlier. If you want to do that, the Bit Nove will also work. You're just going to have to do the AR, and then you'll have to get the Audison harness to go, because Audison is also iData compatible. So you could do a Bit Nove, the AR box, which is right there, and then the Audison cable, which you can pick up from any Audison dealer or Audison themselves. And then you can plug it in and it'll work just like the DSR1.
Alright. It is worth to have a DSP good to the set of coaxials for the rear speakers?
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Same for the subs.
So, do you have a home stereo? If you do, my guess is you have some form of a surround sound. Meaning, you don't just have surround on the front speakers, you know, like the center and the two left and right. No, it's on everything. It's 5.1, 7.1, 9.1, 9.2, whatever you got. Okay? It includes every speaker. So if you want it all to work the best of its ability, having the DSP and the delay and the EQ and all that doing what it needs to do, yes, you want to pass everything through the DSP. Your rear speakers still look like crap on an RTA. Right? They still look terrible. They're still speakers. They're still, you know, one is over here, one is over there. They still have all the things wrong with them that they're, you know, that you just fixed the front. You've gotten rid of out of the front. And then you're going to blend in these rear speakers that are just like, ah. So, given the choice, if I can run my rear speakers through a DSP, I would like to do that. However, it's up to you. You know, just play them low as rear fill. They'll work that way too, but...
Alright, I don't know. Alright, I'm going to read it. Is there any wideband speaker that can effectively replace a tweeter in a two-way active setup and still deliver a decent high-frequency response?
Well, yeah. I mean, the middlers, as they're called, now made by just about everybody... that's what they're designed to do. So, like, everyone had, like, Morel has one, Audison has one, Focal has one. I think everyone has one now. And the idea is that, no, it's not going to play all the... Okay, it will play all the way up to 22,000 or 20,000. It just starts to roll off at, like, usually they start to roll off around 10. Are they going to sound as good as, like, a metal tweeter in the dash?
What about the Illusion?
It's a two-way. It has a tweeter in the mid-range. It's not a middler, so it's not one of those, you know.
Wideband.
It's not a wideband speaker. I mean, if you have room for a 3.5, obviously that would be the way to go. Go with the Illusion that has it's a two-way coaxial set. But yeah, so we've done a bunch of them, and they all sound good. All of them. I mean, I haven't been disappointed yet. But if you're into that metal tweeter sound, they will not give you that. They will not give you that. Oh, I can't see. They're not going to do that.
You did an amp review 3 weeks ago about the Sound Digital E-Box. What will you pick between the Rockford or the Sound Digital?
Oh yeah, Audio Frog makes a set too.
Audio Frog makes a set too, yeah, that's right. Ooh,
oh,
man.
So the little tiny Sound Digitals. So the little tiny Sound Digitals.
They sound really nice.
Yeah, he still got them in his car.
Yeah.
I think the PBRs would probably be the closest thing in size to those. I don't think the powers. I don't think the powers. Now, in the next Sound Digital that we're going to do, that's a big-ass fly. Those are probably more in line with the powers.
Mm-hmm.
But these do have more power than your test amps, right? And the ACMs that are in there?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Totally.
All right, hold on. Let's. Okay, oh my god, he's got a book. Oh, come on, man. Really?
Hurry. Alright, hang on. Before that, I'm running a Kenwood XR 901.5 in my 2008 Lexus ES350. Is that amplifier strong enough to push 2 Kicker 10 C?
Comps.
Yes, Comp C. And should I put them in a porta box or CO box?
It'll push those, and I would put them in a porta box. Because that's what they're going to sound best in and be allowed to get through that car.
Larry. Okay, so I'm running an AVIC 81 8500 going to the ACM 4.300, powering Hertz DG components in the front and coaxials in the rear. Just pick up a DMA 10. I want to run full active, so I have a couple of stages in order. I thought we already talked about this one before. I have an old Soundstream reference 200. I liked, yep. Full two-way front stage. Think the wireless. Yeah, and the SS tweeters will sound great as the power of the ACM. I thought we say you should go with the 4.300. Yes.
Yeah.
New amplifiers. It's better than the old Soundstream amplifier that you have.
Never tried before, but has anybody gotten a Maestro RR harness to retain the factory features on a non-Maestro radio? Okay, so we do it all the time as far as a Maestro. Alright, so if you're looking at like an Access harness, if you're looking at like a RP pack harness, okay, all those do is talk to the car, and they give you things like illumination, brake wire, reverse, speed sense. That's what they do. A RR will do the exact same thing with that in the car. So if you want to use an RR as like a normal harness, you can do that. We actually have a video showing you how to do that in an Alpine ILX W650. So like if you have a radio and it's not RR compatible, it will give you your illumination, all those wires that the non-super intelligent harnesses do. However, it won't take that radio and give you gauges and tire pressure and all those things, because that's a two-way conversation between the RR module and the actual radio, and there's a harness that's dedicated to that. If the radio you're putting in doesn't have that harness, then there's no two-way going on there. But you can use an RR as a generic harness, a generic smart harness as it were, easily. What are we doing?
No, it's 30 minutes, so this show is sponsored by AudioControl, LC2I, LC1I.
Good commercial.
There you go.
High five. Yes. Give me some hand sanitizer. Don't talk about Access or Pack or Maestro in the same sentence. There again, we just tell you what's available, man. Everyone makes something. Not everyone is perfect by any stretch of the imagination.
No. And like we always say, we use all these products as,
it's
a tool.
Just a tool.
If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, you use the next one. That's it.
Yeah.
When running a DMA...
Mr. Freeman. I'm sorry, go ahead.
How you doing, Mr. Freeman? When running a DMA 608, can you run an epicenter? If you so, It is before the DM608 or after the 608?
So the question I will answer. However, if you head over to Instagram today and watch 5 Minutes with 5-Star on the 5-Star Car Stereo Instagram page, we talk about this because in this car that's out of frame here, it's getting a D 4.800 and an LC 1.800 and an epicenter, and we talk about how it works. And we also have a video that shows you how it works too, with cool little diagrams and pictures and wiring and all that fun stuff. But the short version of this is, if you have a DM608, you have your input signal coming into it from your source unit, either be high level or low level, I don't care. When you have your subwoofer output, pick one of the channels that you're going to use for subwoofer output. You leave the crossover off, all right? You can label it, let's say use 5 and 6 as subwoofer, whatever, or 7 and 8, or 8, or whatever you want. Just leave the crossover off on it. You don't need it on, just leave it off. Out of that channel, so let's say you picked 5 and 6, so there's no crossover on for 5 and 6. You're going to come out, you're going to go into your epicenter. You're going to go out of your epicenter into your sub-amplifier. At that point, you're going to turn on your subwoofer's crossover. That's it. It's all you got to do. It's that simple. It really is that simple. Now, as far as what's feeding your subwoofer, if you want to use front, use front. If you want to use rear, use rear. If it's an aftermarket radio, you can use both. It's the same signal. You can have non-fading. I mean, if they fade to the front, it stays the same. If they fade to the rear, it stays the same. If you just want to use front output, let's say you're doing high level, and that's where the factory sub is, or the deepest signal being played by the factory radio, then just use front. It really doesn't matter. Feed it what you want. Just know that that's it. God, it's so simple. I know. I'm sorry.
All right.
It's just funny.
Still planning my 18.4 escape system. We'll be running the kicker key 200 and the 500. 200 will be active front.
Perfect.
Should I run 2 lengths of speed wire for the amps? If so, where should I grab the signal for each and which harness?
No, okay, so for that...
I'm sorry, what's up, Luis from Portugal?
What's up, Jason from Oregon?
Yes.
Okay, so here's what you do. Pretty simple. Sorry, I don't know why I say that. I hate that phrase. All right, here's what you do. You need 1 speed wire. You don't even need a speed wire, really. You need a left and a right speaker wire. That's it. So you're going to come out of your factory radios front only. Left front, right front. You're going to go into the input of both the 501 and the 2.400. I always want to call it 400.4 because it just makes more sense in my world. Anyways, you're going to set up the dip switches on the key to correspond to that input, which is 2-channel input. All right. And then bi-amped. That's it. Then you're gonna, the same is true on the 501. It just needs an input. So you're gonna come in and you're gonna go like this, off to 1 amp, off to the other, and you're done. Next, you're gonna come out of the 200.4, 1 set going up to your mid-range, 1 set going up to your tweeter. Done.
Yeah.
Done. But yeah, you don't need a rear input on the amplifier because you're just doing a front stage. So you literally just need front. And the 501, you're not going to come off of the rear speakers in that car because the rear speakers in that car crossed over a lot higher than the front. So you want the front stage. So you literally need a left and a right output into it, and you're rocking and rolling.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Dean looks tired. Dean is tired. Dean's had enough.
Larry, please show my question some love. Like we talked about the last time, I remember because that was the same thing that you put in here. I thought Dean told you.
Yeah, we're good. He wrote that right afterwards, so it's all good.
Yeah.
G37 build coming soon. Awesome.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So when's Sue build coming? Hell, my build hasn't coming. Honestly, right now we're so busy. It's not even funny. We had to kill ourselves last week to get the Haley stuff done so that we could tie that all in with the whole little kicker thing that we did.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You're the man. Have you ever used any of the Fox boxes for pickup trucks? Yeah. The dual 12 porta box has both the subs next to each other on the passenger side. The dual 10-inch porta box is downfire. Which is better? Do you know why they do that? I do not know why they do that. However, if you give Bruce, Foxbox, Larry, I think is his name. Is it Larry?
No, Bruce is from Frostbite.
No, but I thought Larry was. I would call them and ask.
It's a lie.
I know, it's so many people.
Hey,
I can tell you this. When it comes to the Foxbox, it's made that way to put the most amount of airspace in it possible. If they've done it that way, don't overthink it. Just buy one, put it in your car, and you'll be happy. Because they all perform exactly the way they're supposed to. I prefer to use speakers that can have grills, and a mesh grill at that. You want the thin mesh grill, so that's why we always recommend like Rockfords and Alpines and stuff like that. But JL also takes a mesh grill, but that's it.
Qué bueno que te sirvió, Juan.
Can I see your quarter-inch drill bit again? It's got a quarter-inch. It's got a little nut driver thingy on the bottom of it. It's a whole set. Get them from Milwaukee, or not Milwaukee, Makita. Makita makes a whole set of them.
Look at that, it's beautiful. But it's mine.
Yeah, I know. What?
No.
Okay, the amp swap should have been easy in Haley's car, other than filming it. Oh, listen to Jason, like, oh, the amp swap should have been easy in Haley's car, other than filming it. And then retuning it, and at that same night, we also swapped out the KS components.
Yeah, we swapped the KS, and
you also got to remember, we got to talk about this stuff. It's not like we just like said, hey, we're going to put this in the car. Got to fill in the whole blanks, you know?
Jason is funny.
I know. Come on, man. Does the sub box need to be mounted tight to a vehicle? No. And yes, it really just depends on what you're trying to do. Like when we put a box in the trunk of a car, usually that box has to be able to come out because either A, to get to the spare tire, or B, the customer wants it so they can travel. So what we'll do is we will put some, if they ask, we'll put some form of a locking shim there so that the box won't slide to the back of the car. Sorry. Okay, Haley. But no, the only time we talk about it when something that needs to be firmly mounted to the car. Grab that thing, can you please?
I don't know what you do.
That
thing?
That Alpine thing right there.
Oh, this one?
Yes. When you do these things, these little amplified subwoofer enclosures are designed to go to these have to be attached to the car firmly. When we talk about a subwoofer that needs to go into the car and be braced and properly secured, these are what we're talking about. Because how these work, these are basically like bass shakers. This is made out of aluminum and it's hardcore, but it has to couple with the car to vibrate the car to create the bass illusion that it's giving you. So that's something to think about when we're talking about stuff like that. These small little goofy things like this, like JBL's Bass Hub Pro has to be mounted in the spare tire really well.
All right.
But yeah, you need that to couple.
Will the Kicker Key 200.4 and the 500 will work in the 2017 Chevy Equinox?
Yes, as long as it's not the Bose stereo. If it's the Bose stereo, I wouldn't do that. I'd go a different direction. But if it's just the factory stereo,
like the basic,
the base model, then yeah, definitely.
Totally. That would rock.
Rock on.
Yeah, that's Lance. Das. What's up?
Lance, we've been talking about your stuff all night. The Bit Nove has just been blowing up with its 9 channels of output.
All night.
All night.
Hey guys, is there a mesh grill? Is there a mesh grill that fits in the AudioFrog 12-inch sub? Ooh, I don't know. Jeff may know.
Jeff, are you still out there? Help her.
Yes.
Who needs a spare? Who needs a spare killing room for more audio?
Exactly.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
You never get your wife out of the car.
Yeah, I would. She doesn't care. I mean, she'd probably like to have the bass. I mean, but I don't know, man. It's just we got so much crap we need to do. What's Juan got going on there?
Juan, deberías de conseguirte el harness. a mí yo te lo recomiendo que consigas el harness, sería mucho mejor. Lo puedes cortar, pero ¿para qué si lo puedes conseguir?
I hate doing that, but I had to yawn.
Yeah, all right.
I have a 2014 Passat with a Fender audio. Have you put aftermarket head unit in one? And if so, what integration pieces use? Not that I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember. What do you got? Read something.
All right. Any tips on running power wire on the Kia Soul?
Oh, that's right up your alley. See, you can answer that one.
Oh man, I don't know, man.
What do you mean you don't know? Come on, man.
I just run the wires, you know.
Yeah.
And it feels like I'm not running. I'm just walking because.
Well, you hate to run.
Yeah. No,
Just
I mean,
give
in the
us
end
the
of the day,
basic
just
overview.
the only thing you have to do is look. Of course, open the engine bay and see if you have any space in between the brake booster. See, I mean, you're not gonna drill in there, but normally they have on the corners, they have a grommet, so you can go on the bottom of the grommet or on the side of the grommet. That's it. And if you're gonna drill it just with what are we having here? Hang on.
I don't know.
This is 1/16. You can use a 1/16. Just a little tip, and then make sure you don't hit. Oh well, whatever. You don't hit nothing. And if you're free, I mean, just go for it.
So, all right. So, looking at the Passat, the problem is there's a couple of different problems with the Passat. Obviously, the dash kit's super easy right here. It's just a standard Volkswagen dash kit. Nothing cool there. It's the fender system and whether or not you have a factory backup camera or not. If you have the factory backup camera, you're going to need the VW92. You're probably going to need this guy. What is this guy? So. Provides accessory power, wrap, designed for non-amplified or amplified modules. So this is probably the one you're going to want to take a look at. You may want to give them a call. And factory display retention for 08 through 16. Yeah, this is probably the one that's going to do it. I've never used this particular one, but this is probably the one that's going to. You're going to want to do some research on and see if this will work with your needs. But yeah, so take a screenshot. Dash kit's pretty straightforward, but all I did is, Volkswagen, just go to go to metroonline.com and you're good to go there. For all of you that are new to this and you don't know, like, you're like, hey, I don't know where to go to find stuff. I'm totally lost. No problem. Take a screenshot, pack-audio.com, maestro-maestro.idatalink.com, metroonline.com, navtv.com, and mobridge.com. The other one you could check too is the maestro.com. I think they also make a Volkswagen harness for that too, but I don't think they have the backup camera retention on theirs. So,
right.
But I would check it out. Because we've used iData for some Volkswagens. I just don't remember which ones they are.
Yep.
Okay. Harbor Freight step bit, $8.
Hey, oh wow, really?
Yeah, I buy those. We don't buy those anymore though, because they didn't last that long.
Yeah. What do you think about the what? What do you think about the image dynamic? I mentioned my Max, and people give me black stare.
Oh, ID Max. We talked about that like a couple weeks ago, I thought. So the ID Max, so Image Dynamic was a real popular brand, as it were, many years ago. They were the company that came out and really kind of fostered the underdash. Whoa, dang, that was I got attacked. Felt like I was Pence there for a minute. It was so bad. Anyways, they came out with the horns that went up underneath your dash.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Oh my
if I had
God.
had chopsticks, he would have been gone.
Dude, did you just shut that thing off?
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh. Anyways, they had the horns that went up underneath the dash, and that evolved into subwoofers. And then at some point, they decided to spend a bunch of money working on some form of an EQ processor. And that basically screwed them over big time and cost them a lot of money. And we were sitting there asking them, why are you going to be doing this? And they were like, oh, we got plans, we got plans. Well, their plans went to shit. And what eventually happened is they were working on a subwoofer called the ID Max, which for all you high output SPL guys, this is a real revolutionary driver. Most of the time when you look at like a super sub, you put a giant tire size surround on it, a small cone, and it does this and it moves up and down. Well, they engineered a way to come out with a rolling surround. So instead of it doing this, the surround would do this. So you could actually have a 12-inch woofer with a 12-inch cone and have tons of excursion because your surround would roll up like this, as opposed to a big fat thing that just kind of moves like a tire. So, what eventually ended up happening is Powerbase bought them, and the gentleman that invented the subwoofer still works for the company, and his daily job, him and his assistant, are hand building IDQ Maxes all day long. So that's all they do, is they build those woofers. Powerbase is since starting to look into what it's going to take to revitalize the line and come out with more and more products. So if you're starting to see Image Dynamics starting to hit the circuit again, that would be why. Powerbase is an exceptional speaker manufacturer. Actually, they're one of the largest speaker manufacturers, and they are a company that makes speakers. All right, they're not an American-based company. They are totally 100% transparent as far as what they are. They're a Chinese company that came to the United States to sell their speakers. That's what they did. They bought an American company, Image Dynamic. It's still here in America, and those ID Maxes are still made here in the U.S. They also will manufacture tons of speakers for other people. So it's, yeah, those are just little tidbits of crazy history in car audio land. But it's an exceptional woofer. Definitely, if you get the opportunity to hear one, do it. You won't be disappointed.
That's nice. I have a 2014 Chevy Silverado 1500 LTZ. I added the Pack Audio RP5GM51 with a factory camera retention harness. The Pioneer radio worked perfect. But when I changed it to the Kenwood Exelon 906S, I got wavy lines. I checked all the connections and they are good. Any reason why?
Yeah, because it's a different type of camera input that the Ken was looking for. Pack makes a noise filter that will fix that. Jeff, what's the knob number on the noise filter?
Just bought an IDQ 12 Golf with FedEx.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
Oh,
I mean, you
Here it is.
have
I got it.
you have this this thing right here called computer.
No, I know, but it's easier just to walk over there because I know it's over there. So this is what you're looking for. This is the RPA VA1 differential to composite video adapter for video noise filtering. Buy one of these and that'll fix your problem.
ID Max is the bomb.
I just bought the IDQ12. I got it from FedEx today. You're gonna love it, Brian. Send us some pictures.
Send some pictures.
Dude, it was awesome. The ID 6.5 component set coaxial, intro speaker magnet, lots of power, downside big magnet. Oh yeah, I had a set. Ah, thank you, Jeff. Look at that, Jeff's right on top. So there it is. Just copy that and search, and you're all set and good to go. Sorry, I mean to be a bug. I am. No, the bug is flying around here. Okay. Hi from East Canada.
What's up?
What's
Canada?
up? East. Wow. Okay, so that's
The ID 6.5
cool.
components and coaxials into the speaker
Yeah.
are great. Lots of power.
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys know what hurts wrench the downfiring kicker 10? Box plays best. I don't know. Like how low it plays. The kicker 10 box.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I really wasn't listening. I'm not gonna lie. So on the 2000, oh geez, really? On the 2009 Accord, you're asking where to put the harness for it. It's gonna depend on what it needs for a harness. So hang on a second here. Body type,
I
sedan.
think it's in the
So if
in the
it,
amp.
well, so if it's the old one, hold on,
Yeah.
then it could go anywhere. Well, it would go before the amplifier. So they do make a T-harness for it that goes behind the radio. So the T-harness is going to go behind the radio. That's for the basic system. Alright, so that's basic. Let's go back here. 10-channel digital signal processor. Okay, so if it's got that, alright, so according to this, the 2009 10-channel digital signal processor, well, that's what the water resistant case, HL1 DSP package with T-harness. So
I know. Right?
So anyways, head over to Metro Online and figure out which one you have. If I don't remember the crossover point on the car where it went from a digital into the amplifier, from the analog into the amplifier. So it used to have an analog, meaning variable voltage input, into the factory amplifier. If it has that, then it would go behind the radio. If it doesn't have that, then it's going to go after the radio. So actually, if it has the digital, you're going to need their DSP for it. So lots of fun there, which this doesn't look like the digital one, so I'm thinking it's gonna go behind the radio, but a simple voltmeter will help you check that out. What do you got?
Anytime my question was and you thought my question was long. Any other incomer audio
Jeff, come on, man, you knew that wasn't coming.
Any thoughts on Tower Amps multi-channel amplifiers? Looking for the TS? Nothing.
Yeah, that's why I skipped it. Yeah.
That's it. I got nothing. Got my Morel shirt today. Awesome, James.
All right.
Well,
and with that brings us to an hour, guys. So we're going to wrap this fun train, crazy train of fun and excitement up.
This is over.
Did it die?
Yeah.
It may have. That's okay. I think we've covered them. All right. DNF Tool Drawer is a place you can go find all the cool tools that we use to do all our installations. You can also head over to teespring.com/store/5star where you can find all the cool 5-star t-shirts. One that is really relevant right now, of course, is the Vote for Fernando. That's right. Making America Bass again. If you want to look cool on your vote day, make sure you pick one of these shirts up. It won't get there on time. Well, it might get there on time. You never know. Anyways, that's what we got. We're still on Patreon if you guys want to support us there. And of course, this week was brought to you by AudioControl and the LC1i. That's right, it's now available. If you're looking for a high-end LOC, this is probably the one you want. Pick yourself up. And with that, it's been a fun day.
That's right.
We can go home. I wish I could. I got a full night of work to do, guys. Plus, I gotta get home and run. I gotta get my miles in. So.
All right, guys. See you guys tomorrow.
You guys have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.